Okay, today we're going to take apart the pump. Now you can see this thing got this nasty gasket on it. You have to scrape that off. There's really two halves to the pump. There's the front half, which is what you see sort of inside the bell housing, and then there's the back side, which actually is what this connects to, and then the pump support, which actually goes into the drum. So the way this comes apart, it's actually really simple. It's a couple 1/2-inch bolts. You can see this pump has been in the mud. I'm actually not going to rebuild this one. I'm going to disassemble this one and reassemble a different one. Oh, just like that. Falls apart. Okay. Save those bolts. Okay, yeah, this pump, there's mud and junk in here. So, the way this normally works is that gear is in here. There's just two gears that sort of spin relative to each other to make the pump go. There is a correct orientation. See, there's a little dot here. Anyway, this is the back side of the, I think they call this the pump support or the stator support. This thing is just greasy and nasty, but I bet it would actually clean up pretty well. We're going to put that off to the side. Then the other piece of these two gears, now there's an inner gear, which is going to have some flats on it like this, and you can see that right in here. And that's where the torque converter I believe that there's no orientation on this gear. I think I read that in the manual. The torque converter snout is going to have either some flat spots or notches, which will drive this pump shaft. So the pump gears that I'm replacing, I suspected something was up. Now there's lots of different versions of these things, so you never really know what you're working with. But I knew something was up on this pump gear. You can see those are like sheared off. Yeah. This thing, this transmission she gave me, has been through the ringer. It's supposed to look like this, again, with those little nubs. I've got another pump off, this is off a Dodge. So she's gonna have a hard time finding the right torque converter, but this is the part she gave me, so this is sort of what she gets to deal with. Anyway, you take the pump gear out, and this one can be a little trickier to get out. So it has the dot, like little marker, and that's how you know what side is supposed to go up. If you can see that little marker here, right at 6 o'clock on the, I can make that a little more clear. There you go, right there. All right. So put that there. So the next thing that has to happen is there's a seal that has to come out. So the seal comes out. Now so the seal comes out. That's obviously trash. And now inside here, I'll have to clean out this. I'll just turn out. It looks a little dark. Hopefully this is turning out okay. We'll just clean this out. And there's a bushing in here that may or may not need to be replaced. If I was going to reuse this pump, I might reuse the bushing. Right here we have the front half of the pump. This is the pump part that faces outward once it's installed. Now I have already replaced the bushing in here. Place this bushing. It's very easy. You just knock it out with a screwdriver carefully so you don't scratch it. And the other side, you just press it in until it's flush with this. So there's really nothing to it. Now, pressing it in isn't the whole story. You actually need to stake it. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to use a punch, which if you don't have this set from Harbor Freight, you're probably doing it wrong. It's like $10 and I use it so much, it's crazy. So there's these two notches. You can see one here and then You can see the other one right here. That's what we're going to do, is we're going to punch these edges in, or stake it, I guess, so the bushing isn't tempted to spin in its bore here. So it's be a little easier for them. Okay. And do the other side as well. It's kind of at an angle into this recess. A little hard with one person. Okay. So what that looks like is, so you can see I have to just push those into the openings. Now it's a little rough right there. That's what the factory manual says to do, is borrow your kid's pocket knife, which we got in Colorado. Can't tell if the camera's upside down or right side up right now. This is actually right side up, but it shows upside down on my screen, so who knows. Anyway, it says take a thin blade, so I think it's good. Okay, so that's step one. Once you've got the bushing in, is we get to put the seal in. So the seal goes right in here, and it's a piece of cake to install. I just gotta find it first. It's supposed to be this one. Oh yeah. Perfect. Speaking of Harbor Freight magic, take this O-ring out of this channel. Your overhaul kit should have come with one. If you haven't noticed a theme here, it's these O-rings are a bit of a bugger to get out. There we go. Okay. So, one thing to mention about these pumps is there's lockup and non-lockup versions. This is a non-lockup I'm working on. Internally, they're basically the same. The difference is the non-lockups have two check balls here, and the lockups have a check ball in this third port here. These aren't serviceable as far as I can tell, so you better get the right one. Okay. Now the pump gears, there's like this big gear, and then there's this one with the teeth. So the way this works is this guy goes in with the dot up. And this guy can go in either direction. The factory service manual does not make any distinction. So anyway, what happens is, torque converter, it's got two slots, and it will grab onto this gear here. Later, once it flats here instead of these lugs, they're able to grab onto those and spin it around. So when you're having trouble putting the torque converter on, odds are it's because you're trying to get the lugs lined up with the spot in the torque converter, and it can be hard. So now there's a clearance spec on this, so let's check that out. Alright, the clearance on the ring gear to the housing is 1/1000 to 3/1000. So this, my feeler gauge, this one that's kind of got an angle to it, only goes down to 8/1000. Now I'm confident 8/1000 is not going to fit in here because this thing is pretty snug. I can't check the tolerance to the exacting specifications of the FSM, but we're pretty stinking close. Close enough that I can live with it. There's like no play in here. It fits real good, and when I put fluid in, it's going to get even better. Alright, the other clearance is this tooth clearance, which is 5 to 10 thousandths. So smallest I've got is 8, and I have a 10. So the tooth clearance is this. Okay, so that's right on the money. Perfect. All right, so we're going to lube this up before we drop it in for reels, and then we're going to flip the other part of the pump over and install it. Okay. Okay. Now, the two halves of the pump do have a specific way they fit together. And I wish there was a slick way I could tell you to match them up. But the easiest way is probably look at this curve here. There's a corresponding curve on this. So these two holes are close together, so let's look for those two. And they go right up here. So what we do is we lift this up, and then we flip it over. Now, it's all held in place. Okay, so once you've got it like this, you're going to need something to set it in, to sort of hold it in place, because you need to actually have it facing this way to put the pump bolts in. So when you put it together, you're going to loosely fit each of these. I guess there's 6 bolts. Because this pump has got to be sort of pretty much perfectly aligned. And so we're just going to loosely fit these bolts into these holes. And we'll sort of slowly align it as we go. But the spec on these is 15 foot-pounds, which is also known as 180 inch-pounds. So okay. So now we are torqued. Pumps assembled. Sweaty hands off these things. Okay. Now there are 2 sealing rings right here. You can see those. So these are the interlocking kind. So those still are locked well. So you're making a good seal, you can leave them. I'm electing to leave them because they look pretty good to me. Okay. Now the last thing I should mention is before you put this, before you actually put this in your Jeep, you need to lube up this seal. Now I probably should have lubed it before I put the stator shaft in, but it's no problem. I can get in here and I can lube it up real good. I got a little trick, you know, a little screwdriver, and you can get it in there. Also, when you go to put the torque converter on the snout, lube up the fire out of that snout. All right. Once you've got the thing assembled, all bolted up and good to go, don't forget about the O-ring that goes in that groove there. So the good news is this sucker doesn't have any taper. So you just sort of feed it in. Now mine's got like a yellow side and a black side. So you just stick with it. A little bit heavy. Much easier to do probably on a workbench. My loyal 24 or so subscribers deserve the very best. Okay, so now this is on. This part doesn't actually spin, but I do coat it with ATF before I put this in the pump bore. Alright, now the pump is ready to go. Actually, I say that. I'm also going to lube this up, lube these sealing rings up. I'm going to lube the inner bore here, these sealing rings, the outer edge here. Just going to give it a whole lot of lube. So hopefully it slides in nice and easy, because this reaction shaft actually goes into the direct drum. So this thing is going to spin inside there, so it's probably a good idea to make sure it's lubed even before we go to start it up the first time.